We are continuing with the teachings of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj from the book I Am That. So Maharaj says that there is no such thing as failure in yoga. So yoga implies the recognition of the wholeness, the consciousness that is our true nature. Now I will read what Maharaj has written here and then we'll talk on it. He says, he who could not complete his yoga for some reason is called failed in yoga. Such failure is only temporary, for there can be no defeat in yoga. The battle is always won, for it is a battle between the true and the false. The false has no chance. So, in a way, this is actually very encouraging for people who are undergoing the dark night of the soul. Because when they are experiencing that, they experience a mixed feeling. They experience overwhelming sensations, sometimes the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows. And for those, where this scenario seems extremely gloomy and it seems as if there is no hope, Maharaj here says that there is no chance for a failure. You are already in that direction. It may seem that somehow you are lost because of the sensations and the feelings that we experience. Because after spiritual awakening, one experiences this kind of overwhelm, a mixed emotion, a sort of unease, a sort of distress. So it seems as if the wholeness is far away from us. But actually it is quite close. It is closer than we think it is. Rumi says that I was knocking on the door and crying, "Open the door, open the door." And when the door was opened, I realized that I was already here. And Maharaj explains this in this manner. He says that, let's say you are in an unknown country and that you have to reach a particular destination. So every step you take in the direction of your destination is a step towards it. So what you think is that it is a failure, but actually it is a direction towards wholeness. But yes, it is the last step which is going to bring you to the wholeness. But last step, what is going to be your last step is not in your control. It is the wholeness that decides what will be your last step. But that should not stop us from walking, because without walking there is no possibility. Even not walking or trying to avoid wholeness is a search towards wholeness. It is a part of that journey. There is a quote by the mystic Bayazid Bastami. He says, "The thing we tell of can never be found by seeking, yet only seekers find it." So every pain, every suffering that you experience right now is a direction towards the wholeness that is your true self. You have never been alone and isolated. That feeling comes only when you identify yourself as the limited mind-body organism. But you are the seeker, you are the seeking, and you also are the sought. The I alone was, is, and will be. The I alone is the stillness. It is the wholeness that we seek. And your last step towards your destination is end of seeking. Before that, every step may seem like it may give the feel that your destination is far, but you never know when it might happen, where it might happen. Even Ramana Maharishi would say this, that the reality is closer to you than you think. But it is some people's destiny to go through suffering, to go through a lot of emotional turmoil, and then come to the realization that you are already what you seek. And that is when the mind stops seeking. That is when the mind stops trying to find a solution to a problem, because then there is no problem. And Bhagwan would say that for some people it is very easy. It's like just telling them that your true nature is the eternal self, and that's the end of it. For others, it requires vichara, some intellectual contemplation, self-reflection. And for others, they have to go through a lot of suffering. They have to go through all the worldly happenings, so as to speak, before their mind stops seeking and comes to the truth, or becomes the truth. And it is not necessary that these people may be studying Advaita, or for that matter any spiritual teaching. This can be a very natural understanding. This can be a deep glimpse. Just one glimpse dissolves everything. Now, if it happens early, that does not mean it's better. And Maharaj says this in this book, I Am That. He says that faster does not mean better. Somebody who has had a glimpse into the wholeness, who has had awakening at a young age, is not better than the person who has had that same glimpse at the age of 70 or 80 years old. A 70, 80 years old person will definitely be having more worldly experience and will be able to articulate the sentiment in a much better way. He or she may be able to articulate the message in a better way because of the experience than a 40-year-old or a 30-year-old. So, if you think that you are failing, question as to who is that entity that thinks it is failing in self-realization. Who do you think is diverted from the path of truth? Even if you want, you cannot divert from the path of truth, because you are powerless against the pull of the divine. You have to move in that direction. You may think that you are separate, that you are alone. You may identify with your misery, with your mind, with your limitations. You may think that you are unworthy. You may think that you are not loved. But that love of the wholeness is right here. It is now, where everything is arising. And the now does not discriminate. It allows for all possibilities. Every possibility is there in this now. Yes, in your journey of seeking, the illusory journey of seeking, it may so happen that you may have detours. You may feel that you get distracted by relationships or by some financial turmoil, but you see, it is all a part of it. There is no such thing as a failure. It is all a part of it. Sometimes you are meant to get hurt in relationships. I know it just sounds a bit odd, but look at your own experience and see this. You can see this very clearly. What has taught you most? The moments of love and happiness, or suffering, heartbreaks? What has evolved your soul? Ask yourself, and you will know that it is not the moments of joy and happiness and excitement that has evolved you. It is the suffering that you have underwent that has evolved you, that has brought you to this message, to this. That is why you're here and listening. If you are listening to this message and you are here up to this point, then definitely there is some recognition of wholeness. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here this long. As and as you begin to dissolve into the light of the truth, you will experience certain changes in yourself. You will experience your own sensitivities. You will experience other people's sensitivities. You will be able to know what the other person is thinking and feeling. You develop empathic qualities when you are in this path. You don't judge others. You allow them to be the way they are, just like you don't judge yourself and allow yourself to be the way you are. For those who are experiencing dark night of the soul, the false is stripping away. As Maharaj says, that there is no chance that the false has against what is true. Every moment, every experience that comes to you is stripping away the false. And what remains is the beauty, is the truth, is the love, is the wholeness, is the completeness, is the oneness, is what you are. You are love. You are complete. You are oneness. You are wholeness. You are not this limited mind-body organism. You are not limited. You are not bound. You are unlimited. You are free. You are already liberated. There is nothing to be found. All seeking is an illusion. It's just a matter of last step. And it will come to you whenever you are destined towards it. Destined for it.